started, so we should be... Yeah, here we go. And we got a sword right off the bat in Sanctuary. That's really nice. That opens up some extra glitches already, such as sword spins, and as well it makes a boot clipping a little easier. Zero Rush gonna check Hylia Island. That's just some rupees. Chex, meanwhile, heading up to the Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, just 3 bombs inside Bonk Rocks, and I believe Zero Rush is going to be setting up this glitch to do that fake flipper. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So we'll get an early hobo check here.
Yeah, so Zero Rush using what we call a boot clip, and that kind of, if you get into the right position, it teleports you. You can, depending on the positioning, you can go up or down. And then he sets up the fake flipper. Unfortunately, when you're in the fake flipper state, if you take any damage at all, that's an instant death. And that's what happened to Zero Rush. Fortunately, it doesn't take him too long to get back there.
Yeah, luckily that's not as costly in overworld glitches as it is in the normal NMG side of things, you know, because you'd have to go all the way back down to the southeast just to set it up. But we're already back here in just a few seconds and hopefully getting this check-in now as we see a fire rod on Chex's side inside or at Lost Woods.
Yeah, and getting that... quick map check. We got 5-6 crystals at Eastern and Hera and a regular crystal at Desert. But as I was saying, that early fire source is nice because that's all you need to full clear Desert Palace.
Yeah, we don't even need those gloves with this overworld glitches. Being able to clip in from the top, the glove requirement for that is just kind of a suggestion, I guess you could say. Chex dashing somewhat over that hole, maybe trying to set up a type of water walk here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Zero Rush going to check out the Uncle, just a heart container there. And the book.
Well, I guess we could get in. We could get into Desert now the vanilla way if we need to.
Yeah, book certainly not required for Desert, but it is still required to access those tablets as well as check the pedestal. And Chexhuman setting up a clip. I believe this will bring him up to Death Mountain, and he'll be able to check places like Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave.
And Zero Rush picking up that fire rod in Lost Woods.
Wow, that I have not actually seen that glitch done quite like that before. Obviously, that one's a bit convoluted.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Nicely done by Chex.
Yeah, but it does take him straight to Spiral Cave. All of Death Mountain, of course, is available in Logic right away, since all you need to get up here are those boot clips. Zero Rush going to do some more traditional checks, like in Kakariko.
All right, so just a piece of heart in the first chest, but we do get that Master Sword. Heart piece, heart container over on Chex's side. Back to Zero Rush, just 300 rupees. We're going to see what is in that back chest of Blind's Hut. Just 20 bucks, though.
And in Paradox Cave, we got the Cane of Samaria. And, well, that's about it. A Cane of... Oh, sorry.
Early Moon Pearl here for Zero Rush inside the well. That's always nice to find in overworld glitches. That thing literally can show up in more places than you'd expect, but there's also 20 bucks of blue mail, another 300 bucks, so we're pretty set on money, I'd say.
Yeah, anytime you get an easy moon pearl like that, it's always nice. That moon pearl can be in a lot of weird places in this mode. Kind of similar to inverted, it can show up in some completely bizarre places if you've only watched no major glitches. And there's the flippers on Spec Rock, and Chex can just do a simple teleport clip to get those.
Very nicely done there by Chex.
Alright, and Hera for Chexhuman. And yeah, as Michael K points out, that Moon Pearl is all we need to access the Dark World. Oh, there's a hammer. That'll help as well. But yeah, we can just use that portal on Death Mountain, and we can clip down to get just about anywhere in the Dark World. So the Moon Pearl, by far the most important item in Overworld glitches.
We got the hint on Chex's side. Do not have to worry about that purple chest today. Just some cash, so pretty sure we will not see these guys doing that. Meanwhile, Zero Rush clipping up and grabbing that shovel from that race game. Nicely done.
Yeah, there is a way to do it so that you don't get stuck. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to quite pull that off, so he had to save and quit after getting stuck in the wall. But not a big time loss because he can just check the shovel spot anyway on his way back. And Chexhuman finding the bow in Hera.
Right after finding that bow, finding a hint about some arrows with magic bat, so probably not going to see that today, although that'd be a nice pairing, I'd say, with that bow.
Zero Rush clipping up to get into Cave 45. Just some bombs there. And now he's heading back, I'm guessing, to go and do Desert. Chexhuman, meanwhile, going to finish off Hera.
Yeah, using basic NMG strats here as far as fighting Moldorm. Just has that fighter sword to deal damage. Got several hits in already, and I think, unfortunately, taking a hit and taking a fall. Unfortunately for Chex, we are going to have to start over, but we're also going to have to deal with Moldorm in that nasty fast phase today.
Yeah, Fighter Sword Moldorm, not the most fun. As we got Zero Rush heading into Desert, gonna grab that small key off the torch and find out a unique item is in Mimic Cave.
Ooh, and unfortunately, Chex taking another fall there from Moldorm. Moldorm targeting him straight in the face after getting into that last final fast phase. Check's going to be heading back up to take him on yet again. Zero Rush getting that big key for Desert, though. Oh, man.
Yeah, I believe there is a clip to get into Mimic Cave without the mirror. I don't know if that's in logic or not. Maybe someone in chat is a bit more knowledgeable on that than I am. And Zero Rush finding half magic in Desert Palace. And the Ice Rod.
Ooh. That's a very good find, but speaking of very good checks, has taken down Moldorm, getting that small key. I don't know if we've gotten both items from here just yet. I wasn't quite counting that, but the important thing is we did get a crystal out of it.
Yeah, so sure Chex is not happy to have fought Moldorm, what was that, 4 times?
Yeah, I believe so. Sometimes that's just how Moldorm goes, especially with Fighter Sword. He just does not want to cooperate.
Okay, Michael K confirming the mirror clipping into Mimic Cave without the mirror is not in logic because it's just too complicated of a clip. But it is certainly allowed to do that if you know it. And a unique item requires the Cane of Samaria. So that can refer to a few different places. There's a few items in Turtle Rock. There is Vitreous, and of course there is the right side of Gan's Tower basement.
All right, just a shield over on Bombo's tablet for Zero Rush. I believe this is going to be his check. No, he has already checked K45. Going to be clipping back up now.
Yeah, he's going to come back around to clip up into the back of Desert. There is actually a clip that can get you there without having to come all the way around, but this works as well. Well, okay, didn't do it correctly, but you do the same clip that you normally do to get into Desert, but you have to kind of go over to the right so that you fall and land in the middle of those rocks. So you have to do it in sort of a specific place. But Zero says, you know what, I'll just come back later. Since there's no item on Limo, so he can just do it whenever he needs to. Checks meanwhile clipping down to Graveyard Ledge. Finding the lamp. Not too bad.
Yeah, always nice to have that. Not really required, I guess you could say, for a lot of these runners, but it definitely does make those dark rooms go a little faster when you can see where you're going.
Yeah, and of course, checks without that half magic, you know, having the lamp to save magic when you need to light torches is always nice as well. Chexhuman doing a Houlihan to get enough money for Zora. Zero Rush doing a clip I'm not familiar with. Looks like this will get him to Hera. Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like these guys are pretty much going to be trading places now. Checks down in the southern portion of Light World. Going to be cleaning up those checks that Zero Rush has already made. And Zero Rush going to be going through Tower of Hera here. It does have that Master Sword, so that fight with Moldorm going to be a little easier, I'd say.
Yeah, and then of course he is able to get the item off the Ether tablet right after this.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be able to get some new information from that. Check's picking up that hammer out of the library, probably thinking, man, I wish I had this from Moldorm just a little while ago, but nonetheless, we've got it now, and that's going to be a little bit of progression for us.
Yeah, so with that bow and hammer and lamp, we certainly have Dark Palace now fully in logic. And there's the bow for Zero Rush. And Chexhuman now going to make his Kakariko checks.
All right, so Zero Rush dropping in on Moldorm, doing these Master Sword spins. As long as we don't poke him, we just need 3, never getting to that fast stage. Zero Rush getting the job done nicely there. Going to be getting that small key and that crystal.
As Chexhuman finds his Moon Pearl. And we're going to get a look at this ether tablet now. Just a heart piece, so that book, not really useful today.
And Zero Rush eyeing those flippers, gonna go ahead, clip up here, and grab those.
And Zerorush now gonna head over to do his East Death Mountain checks using the clip I'm more familiar with. I believe this is called the Turtle Rock Climb or Death Mountain Climb, something like that. You gotta climb up here, it'll spit you out into the middle of that wall, but you are able to kind of wiggle your way up and get over to this nice convenient land bridge, which you normally can't see.
Yeah, it's always nice to find that that bridge is there to get you across.
So, Chexhuman heading into Desert Palace. So he will get his half magic and ice rod. And I do believe he'll also have, with that Cane of Samaria, fully clearable Turtle Rock. Since we are able to get into the Dark World with the Moon Pearl, and we do not need the medallion for Turtle Rock. We can just clip in through the middle.
Yeah, I guess being able to clear it would only really depend on the key layout in some way. But then again, we should be able to just make our way all the way to the front and the back if need be.
Yeah, I believe Turtle Rock is always full clearable without the medallion, unless you spend your keys in a bad way, I guess. It is possible to key lock yourself out.
Right.
But as long as you're smart with your keys, you never need the Turtle Rock medallion.
All right, so Zero Rush making that Eastern Palace play, looks like. Going to be checking Sahasrara along the way. Pretty much, very early on, we've got enough progression as far as items go, so we can just, knock out all of these Light World dungeons.
Yeah, for sure. And that'll be 3 crystals right off the bat, so this definitely has the potential to be a very fast seed. Of course, we don't even know what dungeons are crystals in the Dark World, so we don't know for sure what we need, but we definitely have a lot of what we do need.
Yeah, and speaking of things we could find, we did pick up that red mail on Zero Rush's side, so we are mighty safe today already at just 19 minutes in.
Yep. Chexhuman, meanwhile, making his way into the back of Desert. I didn't see exactly which clip he used to get up, but it was pretty quick, so I'm guessing there's a clip you can kind of do off the entrance that just teleports you up into the rocks, so that's probably what he did. Not quite in the one cycle on Limo, but just had one fire rod shot left. Nicely done, and that's crystal number 2 for Chex.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Zero Rush visited here, got stuck on that clip trying to get back in and opted to leave as we see that big key there for Eastern. So good for Chexhuman at this point. We'll be able to just single dip Desert Palace and not have to worry about coming back here.
Check's now also heading over towards the eastern area. And Check's going to do a quick little clip that will bring him up to the entrance of Eastern Palace rather quickly. This clip not really required, just a minor time save. Zerorush making his way into the dark rooms has not grabbed that lamp, which that was on Graveyard Ledge, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
And we'll see what we got in the big key chest. Just a heart piece there. And Zerorush gonna head back to Armos Knights now. Using that fire rod to light the torch. This room can be pretty difficult with no lamp or fire rod, but with the fire rod, you just gotta know where that torch is.
Yeah, it's always a nice convenience to have, you know, that fire rod when you come in there if you don't have lamp.
Jay Cooper asks, "Is this groups?" Yes. The group stage has just started about a week ago, and will last, I think, for 4 weeks. Zerorush missing the quick kill on Armos, but still gets it done pretty fast. And there's crystal number 2 for him.
All right, so Chex has finished up that vanilla big key chest, and it will be headed to the back. Does have that lamp, so going to be a little easier through here. Meanwhile, Zerorush headed to the South Shore area. We'll see if he's going to be headed back over to Desert or is going to be clearing out everything down here.
Looks like he's opting to do some South Shore checks first.
All right, just a single rupee at the dam, so not worrying about that. Meanwhile, Chex down to just 2 Armos Knights. Has 11 arrows, should be able to take these down, no problem. And getting that 5 rupee, but the most important thing, getting that crystal, bring that count up to 3. Zerorush visiting that mini Moldorm Cave. We've got 5 items in the back. Got a heart piece, 300 rupees. There's our first glove, a heart container, and 3 bombs. So I guess that glove's kind of nice to have. I guess we might need that if we need to get into Ice Palace or something along those lines.
Sorry?
I said I guess we might need that glove depending on whether or not we need to get through Ice Palace.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ice Palace is really the only thing we'll need the glove for. There are a few checks, like such as Checkerboard Cave, that you obviously can't get into without the glove, but the only dungeon we really need them is Ice Palace.
All right, so Check's giving us our first view of Dark World. Ice Palace, speaking of that, pendant, as well as Thieves Town and Misery Mire, that green pendant. The rest are our blue crystals.
And with Mire being a pendant, that means we are not going to need any medallions today, unless we do have to dip into Mire.
I really like that glitch that Chex just did. It just spits you right out of those trees, and you just jump off the mountain into the trees. They catch you, and then you just pop out in the Dark World.
Yeah, that being kind of the standard way to access most of the Dark World if you don't have conventional access. Zerorush heading up to check Zora. Chexhuman gonna head into Skull Woods. So now that we know our crystals, we can start thinking about what we need for Go mode, which is going to be, for Swamp, we'll need the mirror and the hook shot. And really, I think that's it. We're just looking for those two items. We don't even need the gloves with Ice Palace being a pendant.
That's just wild to me.
So yeah, depending on where those items turned up, this could be anywhere from a jet seed to it could be a very long seed if those items are hard to find. But definitely quite a quick start to this one.
Yeah, I'm sure both of these guys are hoping we don't need that glove to go into ice or any of those other pendants to pick up those needed items. But our loadout is looking really good, as Edium was saying right about now.
And Chexhuman, assuming he doesn't mess up this fight, he's going to have 4 crystals less than half an hour in.
And that was just 3 bombs inside Dark Cross for Zerorush. But Chex making quick work of that Moth. Getting 20 bucks for his effort, but as Eddie mentioned, getting that 4th crystal already at sub 30 minutes. We are off to a blistering pace, and hopefully that continues for these guys.
Yeah, and like I said, the only crystal we cannot complete right now is Swamp Palace, so it would not surprise me to see Chex just go straight for Pod and Turtle Rock. They're both pretty item-dense locations. The other option, of course, you could even head for GT.
Yeah, GT is in logic, if I understand this correct, and with the glitches, and that's going to open up a lot of checks. You know, it's a pretty item-dense location. I'd kind of expect to see one of these guys make that play in the near future, I guess.
Yeah, the only thing you logically need to get into GT is the Moon Pearl. I don't know if these guys can hover or not, but if not, they'll need the hook shot to complete GT. Alright, Zerorush heading back up the mountain, and he is going to go down to that portal. And I'm guessing this is going to be the GT play from Zerorush. And Chexhuman finding the mirror in Skull Woods. Wow. So we're just a hook shot away from Go mode. And Zerorush is heading into GT.
All right, so Chex, after finding that mirror, opting to save and quit back to the mountain. We'll see if he's headed into GT or maybe over to Mimic Cave. I do believe he saw that hint, so very
Yep.
possible.
Yeah, and given that he can complete Turtle Rock, that I would be surprised if that wasn't his play right now. And Chex, yeah, using his mirror clip, I believe this will take him to Laser Bridge. So this clip is not in Logic, but again, it is allowed. Zerorush finds the mushroom in the tile room.
Yeah, the pace these guys are going, you don't want to see that fetch quest pop up. You know, that's just one more check that eventually is going to be on your mind throughout the run.
So much like you do in inverted mode, Chexhuman is heading through Turtle Rock backwards. I think this is generally the most efficient way to do it. Zerorush checks the right side GT. There's that big key. He also got our first bottle of the seed.
I feel like finding the big key early is going to be nice for these guys. You know, without that hook to go left side, we can go full on right and check that big chest before heading into that Armos fight.
Yeah, Zerorush, without that mirror, decides he's going to take a Death Warp instead. Death Warping, always a pain with red mail, but luckily falling into a pit always does one heart of damage, no matter what mail you got. And Zerorush going to head up GT.
Yeah, it does have that bow in hand, and we do have to open up that Ganon hole, even though we are glitching around everywhere else in the overworld. So this has got to be done. So no time like right now to do it.
Yeah, although I'm surprised he doesn't go to the left. I don't think he's checked the torch. Or there's also one chest that you can actually bonk to, and that could potentially have the hook shot. So I'm a little surprised he's skipping that and just going straight up. Not even going to take the safety door. He's going to go up on red mail 3 yards. He does have a red potion, so should be no problem.
So meanwhile, Chex has made it to the front side of TR. Going to be checking that chest we normally see first, and then I'm going to assume going to be checking out that that right side fire rod locked room.
Zerorush taking on Lamo 2. Not quite getting the one cycle. But gets it on the last fire rod shot on the second cycle there. Can take a moment to fill up some ammo. And Zerorush just flying through the upstairs GT.
Zerorush making a very nice use of those magic pots Gonna be making sure not to run out of magic here before we go into this last room, or light that last torch rather, and getting this full magic decanter here before heading on up. All right, so Zero Rush check-in mini Helmsol room, nothing of value there. Meanwhile, Chexhuman has dropped in to visit Trinex. And with that hammer, going to be using the hammer strats we normally see in swordless mode. But with that Master Sword, this is going to be a little quicker. There's 300 bucks for Zero. Check's going to have to be a little careful here, down to just 2.5 hearts, but gets that head down, barely dodging Trinex's third head. And on to phase 2 we go. Meanwhile, Zero Rush has taken down Moldorm 2. And Chex got a couple hits in with that nice spin setup at the start.
And, Zero Rush. Trying to hover that gap for no real reason. Oh, well, actually,
we don't have that hook.
He doesn't have the hook shot. Whoops.
Yeah. So this is a really gutsy play from Zero Rush. Didn't even consider that on the way up here. Gonna have to take down Moldorm again and then hover that gap to get that chest. That chest will not stay there until you open it.
And Chexhuman being popped out the front of Turtle Rock with... can't get out of there, but he can check the hint. The lamp is above the pose. Oh yeah, he can use the mirror, of course. And Chex can go back into the Dark World. I don't remember if he got that hint for Mimic Cave or not, but he can certainly check it. So Zero's gonna try this hovering again. Let's hope he can get it soon.
All right, just a couple of pieces of heart for Chexhuman inside of Super Bunny Cave. Zero Rush has taken down Moldorm 3 and 4 at this point, on to, I believe, Moldorm 5 at this stage.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few Moldorm fights so far in this seed. And Zero Rush gets the hover. But did not kill Moldorm that time, so won't be able to open that chest. Now, we know that there isn't going to be anything required in there, but Zero Rush doesn't know that for sure. And there's our other glove in Mimic Cave. So with 2 gloves available, that makes Ice Palace logically accessible.
That it does. And a very solid Aga 2 fight from Zero Rush. And off we go to open the Ganon Pit, but not going to be able to do anything with that just yet.
Alright, Chexhuman, I believe this is going to get him into Hookshot Cave. So that clip there kind of wraps you around the screen and brings you right up to the top of Death Mountain. And you're able to just kind of walk into Hookshot Cave from the back. Zero Rush got Aga 2 down and is visiting the Dark World basically for the first time as Chexhuman finds the silver arrows in Hookshot Cave. And doesn't check the rest of the chest because he knows the hookshot cannot be in there. And now he's going to clip down to Catfish.
All right, so Zero Rush heading into Hype Cave to see what we might be able to find. Meanwhile, Chexhuman passing up on that piece of heart from Catfish. Getting that Sank Heart, whole lot of cash, 3 bombs, and make that 6 bombs. So Hype Cave, whole lot of nothing today.
Yeah, although I don't think Zero's going to complain about that heart refill. He's been on 1 or 2 hearts for
Oh,
quite a while
definitely.
now. And Zerorush gonna do Pyramid Fairy the normal way. There is a clip to get into Pyramid Fairy with the mirror, but lacking that, he can just do it like this. Alright, Chex. Now, gonna clip up to Hera, but he's not going to Hera. He's going somewhere else.
Looks like we are headed back onto the Dark Mountain.
This is a Spike Cave play for Chex. Alright, what do we got at Pyramid Fairy? 20 arrows.
And Spike Cave, just a piece of heart today. So the hookshot still at large.
Zerorush looks to be heading towards Pod now, so we have not seen inside here yet, but there's 5 items and a crystal to be gotten.
And looks like Chex is headed back into GT, or maybe this is his first dip into GT.
I don't think he's been in here yet.
Oh yeah, he went up to the right side of the Dark Mountain with TR earlier.
But Chex heading the left side first, so I wonder if he might end up clearing out the whole left side looking for that big key. Or is he just going to look... Oh no, okay, he's going to do the bomb jump. Yeah, so unfortunately, it's... Unless he's doing DM strats, he might end up doing a whole bunch of checks that we know are not going to provide him what he's looking for. Oh, he grabs the mirror out. Okay, so he is doing DM.
Kind of surprised he didn't bonk down to check that one chest. I do believe that one is in logic. Hookshot could show up there.
Yep.
All right, so Chex as well going to do Tile Room and get that mushroom. Still haven't seen that turn in yet from Zerorush. So that item that is going to provide for us is yet to be determined, but there is a full heart container for Zerorush, as well as a small key.
So there's that mushroom for Chexhuman. We still have not yet seen that turned in, so that could always be the hookshot. Zerorush now heading into the back of Pod, where the majority of the items are.
And Zerorush still has not picked that lamp up. But we know this is in logic now based on where that lamp is.
Well, at least we could see those two things. There was a small key and rupees.
All right, so Chex opting to go back left side. I'm going to assume going to be bonking down to see what is in that chest. Meanwhile, Zero Rush setting up that hammer jump, getting it done very nicely. No big key just yet, so going to have to come back in here. Or back out there, rather, to pick that up. But going to be navigating this dark maze. 10 arrows in that bottom chest. We'll see what is in that top chest in just a moment, I assume.
Or we might not see it.
Yeah, you never know.
And
Look, you called that one.
yeah, I do believe there is a fix coming for version 31 that'll make sure all items get shown in dark rooms. But for now, some of them we're just not going to see.
All right, so Chex skipping Rando Room, knowing a hookshot cannot show up there based on the way the logic is. So going to be skipping down to open up, I'm assuming, this big chest and take on Ice Armos.
Oh, there's the Ether Medallion. So, potentially required for Misery Mire.
So I guess we did see one unique item, right side of GT, with it being the mushroom. We did get that hint earlier, a unique item requires Cane of Samaria, so that could be a little misleading. Obviously, there are multiple places that could show up, but that might be what that hint was alluding to.
Yeah, I believe the only other location we haven't seen is Vitreous. But there's a Tempered Sword for Chexhuman along with the Bug Net. And he's going to begin his ascent up GT.
Zero Rush taking some damage here, down to just half a heart in this dark maze. Dropping a couple bombs. Looks like he is just trying to take the Death Warp at this point.
Yeah, Death Warping with Red Mail is never fun. Alright, Zero Rush now heading back to take care of Helmosaur. And Chexhuman getting a little known glitch. If you use the boomerang or the hook shot to grab a heart, there's a 1 out of 4 chance that it'll actually give you 2 hearts. And Chexhuman, being pretty low in health, says, you know what, I'll pull out my boomerang and try for it.
Yeah, when you're in a tight spot like that and it actually comes through for you, you get that 2 heart deal, it's always a good feeling, kind of takes the edge off, so to speak. And Zero Rush making nice use of that Fire Rod, almost not even needing it, taking out all but 2, or maybe 1.5. That Fire Rod shot did take out one of them on the ground for him. Nicely done, and off to Helmosaur we go.
Yeah, very nice work there by Zero Rush.
It's a Zero Rush with that hammer pounding away at Helmasaur's mask. 17 hits is what we need. There we go. And using that Master Sword as a buffer, getting those 4 hammer shots in pretty much flawlessly. Nicely done. Very solid Helmasaur fight.
So, as he picks up crystal number 3, Chexhuman is on his way towards the end of Ganon's tower. And let's see if he hovers here or if he's going to also grab that chest as well. Looks like he's going to take out Moldorm. Oh, right. He has to hover. Because he doesn't have the hook shot.
Very nice.
And gets it on the first try, and just a heart piece in that chest. Zerorush heading into the Dark World now. This is a nice little spin speed clip to just save a little bit of time getting around that cliff.
Yeah, picking up rocks in overworld glitches, it just takes way too much time.
And Chexhuman is done with Aga 2. So I'm imagining he'll probably head into Pod to grab crystal number 6. And then it's he's got to hunt for that hook shot.
The dig game being super unkind to Zero Rush. Almost pretty much the maximum number of digs there. Just for 10 arrows.
Zerorush going to clip into the mire area. As Chexhuman doing a little clip to get into the pod area. This clip doesn't really do much except saves you a bit of time. And Zerorush making a liar to me not heading to mire. Going to check out Village of Outcasts first. So assuming he heads up to Skull Woods here, he will get his mirror.
And with Thieves' Tale being a pendant, I don't believe anyone has checked that just yet.
Yeah, no
we'll see if Zero Rush.
Sorry, go ahead.
We'll see if Zero Rush takes that gamble or not. Probably going to make that dive into Skullwoods first, I would assume, just because that's a crystal. But we'll wait and see.
Looks like he is going into Thieves' Town, at least for the first 4 chests.
Well, he doesn't have that mirror, so at this point, I think you're kind of here for the hard commit to the play. But, you know, as we said a little while ago, you know, death warping with that red mail is always a huge pain.
Frymay Mirror is in Skull Woods. Zerorush getting bunny beamed there. And find some red goo.
So I believe that's 2 items. Maybe miscounting. Looks like maybe is going to be headed back to exit on out of here.
Yeah, just running out probably a little faster than death warping there. So we're just gonna run over, check bumper ledge. Cape not necessary to get this item. There is a clip to get up there. And Zero's heading into Skull Woods now. So he'll get that mirror, and along with that book, maybe give us a ped check.
Yeah, the ped check may or may not show up just because he's going to have to go all the way back to the front to get that mirror. But, you know, with the way this seed is rolled out, ped, I guess, still is in play.
Well, this does kind of seem to happen often with overworld glitch seeds. You get these seeds where you get a ton of progression right off the bat, and then you're stuck looking for one item for the next half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, because we were, you know, what was it, just one item away on Chex's side, about 29, 30 minutes in, and here we are almost double that time, and still, you know, that hookshot is at large. No idea where that is just yet.
Alright, Zerorush heading in to face Mothula. That'll be crystal number 4. As Chexhuman working on crystal number 6. Does Chex have book? We'll find out in a second. No, he does not. A book, of course, not required. We have seen both tablets, and they do not have anything useful.
It's a Zerorush in that mall fight, getting a spin in. I do believe that was some damage. Spins counting for double. Need 8 slashes or 4 spins or 4 hammer hits here in this case. Going to be doing a mixture of both of those, but getting a nice, quick mall fight with that Master Sword. Nicely done. And Chexhuman now dropping in on King Helmasaur himself. Already got 9 of those hits in with the 2 chips in that mask, and we're up to 17. That mask is off, and just needing 4 of those tempered sword swipes to take him down. And down he goes. Nice work there from Chexhuman. All right, so Zerorush getting that big key of Skull Woods and going to be going all the way back to the front to get that mirror. We'll see, chat, if he is going to check that pet or not.
And Chex gonna clip. Okay, I'm not. Okay, this clip takes him to. Looks like just outside the witch's hut to turn in the mushroom.
That was a new one for me. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one before.
But that mushroom only having 20 bucks. Nothing of value there. So Tile Room was a huge waste today. Zerorush trying to get the bomb jump across here. Very interesting setup for it. Not quite paying off for him. Going to go more traditional way of doing the bomb jump, and now picking up that mirror.
Chex, meanwhile, heading into the back of Escape. I don't think we've seen this yet, surprisingly.
I do believe Zero Rush dropped down here,
Oh,
and
okay.
because Zero Rush did do Dark Cross,
That's right.
but Zero
Zero
Rush,
Rush had a glove much earlier, but it looks like he is headed towards that pedestal. Alright, what's it gonna be? It's a sword upgrade. Alright, well, pedestal essentially dead.
yeah, the time investment for a sword, totally not worth it. Zero Rush going to be heading into the Dark World in the southern portion of the Overworld.
And it looks like he's making the play to Ice Palace here. So what he's setting up here is a mirror screen wrap. So if you mirror at the same frame that you do a transition, a screen transition, it will do some funky stuff. Unfortunately, Zero Rush moved a little too far up and caused an infinite screen wrap. And, well, that hard locks your game, and you got a hard reset.
Yeah, just as you said, that could do some funky stuff. That hard lock happened, and seeing those is quite, quite wild, I guess, for a lack of better phrasing. If you haven't seen those before, just you're stuck moving up like that. The screen's wrapping around, and it won't even let you save and quit. So that's why you got to do that hard reset.
Yeah, Zero's going to try it again. I'm a bit surprised he's going for this because this is out of logic. So even in Overworld glitches, you're logically expected to have the Titan Smiths for Ice Palace. Maybe he's just hoping for a good hint. And, okay, there's a hint for the pedestal.
Well, you said we'd need Titan's Mitts for it to be in logic, but we have found both of those between the two runners. Each runner getting a different glove location. So I guess at this point, from the booth perspective, we know that they're in logic.
Yeah, that's true. So Chexhuman now headed into the village of outcasts. Maybe he may die of Thieves' Town as well. We'll see if he goes deeper than Zero Rush did. And the hint for that Ice Rod in Desert Palace, not very useful at this point. Zero Rush, I was going to try to hover. No, it's going to set up the bomb jump.
Makes it through that room, dodging that firebar. Basically the exact right pixel he needed to. Nice work.
These pen girders are a pain to deal with when you have no hook shot or tempered sword.
Yeah, indeed. You see runners use those bomb strats. You can drop 2 bombs to take them down, but Zero Rush down to just 2, wanting to keep those. Can't say I blame him for that, as we see that blue cane pop up from that chest.
Yeah, that'll open up Spike Cave for Zero Rush, because he hasn't got the cape yet. And there's a Quake Medallion. So we still don't know what medallion is required to enter Misery Mire.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything from the mire area just yet. Another thing that just came to mind, we mentioned we had found both gloves, one between each runner in different locations. I know there's a way to clip down into it as well from Death Mountain, but that King's Tomb has some potential at this point as well.
Yeah, I don't believe we've seen that. So Chexhuman going to do the dig game, so he might go down to Mire after this.
All right, there's that big key for a Zero Rush there. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say the same thing as you. Alright, Chexhuman, heading into the Mire area, you're going to see some pretty glitched out graphics here, because when you enter the Mire area the wrong way, the game does not know how to draw rain.
I think I prefer that style rain versus the vanilla rain, but jokes aside, there's a Bombos medallion, so between the runners, we have found all three of these.
And did you catch a glimpse of the Mire medallion? I did not see it.
I didn't either. With the graphical glitches, it was a little hard to see, but it looks like Chex is going to pass up on visiting Misery Mire for the moment.
Oh, our tracker has it marked as Bombos, so Chex certainly could full clear Mire, but decides to go for some higher density checks first. And Chex, you got a mirror first, yeah. Zero Rush gonna have to go all the way to Cold Stare for that last item.
Alright, so Zero Rush, 2.5 hearts here, already on the second phase of Cold Stare, getting a hit there, down to a half, but making Cold Stare melt away with that Master Sword Fire Rod combo. Nicely done. Getting that blue pendant and 10 bombs, so hookshot still yet to be found.
That was a fantastic fight from Zero Rush, and getting it done just a half a heart as well. And Zero's doing a map check. This leads me to believe that he may have mismarked Ice Palace as a crystal.
Yeah, very possible that is the case. Maybe a little surprised to see a pendant falling down rather than a crystal.
Yeah, I was wondering why he had chosen to go into Ice Palace, but that could explain it. And Chexhuman with the 1 hour and 9 minutes in mini mold home cave check.
Oh, man. Definitely don't see this check this late in the standard glitchless routing. There's those Titan's mitts for Chexhuman getting that second glove.
Zero's going to head into Turtle Rock now. Mirrored just a little bit too quickly there. Chexhuman going to head over to Ice Rug Cave. I wonder if he might consider dipping Ice Palace now that he has the Titan's mitts. and knows that Ice Palace is in logic. Getting hit by a crab throws his bomb away. Decides, you know what, I'll just clip into Ice Rod Cave instead.
That is a fantastic way of doing that.
Zerorush, nicely done getting the laser bridge clip. Chexhuman was starting from the mountain, but changed his mind and now starts from the mountain again. And I think this might be King's Tomb he's going for. No,
Yeah, maybe
he's taking a death, I think. No. Okay, now he's going to Hera. No, okay, I don't know what he's doing now. This might be Pyramid Fairy, actually.
Yeah, he may be getting that health down to preserve that portal so he can take a death and maybe start down at Link's house, and that way he can just run right back up. If so, that is a very good setup by him.
Yeah, so the way this works is you offset the camera, and then when you mirror, it places your portal right. If you place it in the right spot, it'll place the portal on top of the Pyramid Fairy hole, and then yeah, you just have to make your way there without having the portal deleted. He's gonna check King's Tomb on the way though, and that is a heart piece.
That red mail coming in clutch, or not so clutch in this case. Those bombs only doing, I guess, kind of an unseen quarter heart of damage.
And yeah, taking the Death Warp, so I assume, yeah, he'll start from Link's house and then just run up to the castle courtyard and head into Pyramid Fairy.
All right, so Chexhuman getting his 20 arrows. Meanwhile, Zerorush making his way through TR.
So, in terms of what we still have yet to see, I don't think anyone's been in the front of Escape yet, so that might be where Chexhuman checks next. There's still Misery Mire, and of course the front of Swamp, which everyone loves to check for the hookshot.
Yeah, we still have those. I think we have 2 items left in back of Thieves Town as well. So
yes, that's true. And we also, of course, from Mire have that green pendant. So there's basically 3 items in Mire. And Farame cannot be more right in chat. Classic Overworld glitches. Missing 1 item at 40 minutes, still missing it at 1 hour 20 minutes.
yeah, that does seem to happen more often than not here in Overworld glitches. You know, especially even in glitchless modes, you get a lot of progression early. It usually seems to drop off, and you're spending a good chunk of time looking for that last little bit.
Yeah, so after this Trinex fight, Zerorush will have caught up to Chexhuman, well, almost. He still does have to do desert, but that's a pretty quick trip.
You know, he may want to... It'll be interesting to see if he is going to dive swamp. The fact that he left desert, it'll be interesting to see if he decides to go to the Mire area and then mirror, you know, to get back over to desert and clear that up. But for now, Zero Rush has taken down phase 1 of Trinex. And off to phase 2 we go, letting that spin go just a little too soon, but pulling that hammer out, going to be hammering away at this guy. Trinex going for blood, but Zero Rush says not today, and taking down phase 2 of Trinex and going to be getting this 5th crystal.
Gets rewarded with a nice shiny mirror shield.
I guess now we can do laser bridge, right?
Yeah. Right, front of escape coming up empty for Chex. And he is headed possibly in the direction of swamp. Or maybe ice. Or hobo. I guess he hasn't checked this yet.
Yeah, Zero Rush checked this at about, you know, what, a minute and a half in, and here we are to hour 17. Check's finally going to be checking hobo. Going to be very disappointed with what he finds.
Alright, Zero Rush heading back up Dark Death Mountain. Maybe gonna check Super Bunny and that front chest of Hookshot Cave. Oh, I see what Chex is going for. He's going for hammer pegs. Now, of course, he could get in here without glitches, having the Titan Smiths, but this way, I guess, a little faster from where he was.
Yeah, it's more fun to do it this way. Taking a swim in that body of water we normally don't have any access to.
Hammer pegs coming up empty. And heading down, maybe gonna do the Smith chain now. There's a really fancy trick you can use to get the Smiths using a bottle. You can do a glitch called a YBA, which is kind of hard to explain, but you use the bottle at the same frame as you do a screen transition, kind of similar to that mirror wrap. It'll cause some really, really funky effects. But having the Titan's mitts, you can just do it normally, and that's faster. Zero's gonna get this Titan's mitts out of Mammoth Cave. And Chex, remembering that hint we got about the purple chest, gonna leave that behind, and looks to be headed to check the back of Thieves Town now, so here's some new checks. Zero Rush, meanwhile, heading to Swamp Palace, I think?
I kind of like this play. I mean, I know this isn't the normal glitchless modes that I play, but I mean, at this stage, we've seen so much. Might as well just go ahead and dive swamp. If it shows up there, that's kind of going to just be the way it rolls, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big moment. Zero Rush is not headed for Swamp. He is going to check some other things first. Getting harassed by those bombers, but makes it over. Oh, he's going to go check Mire now. And he has not got bombos, so he won't be able to get into Mire. But yeah, as Frame points out, he'll be able to take care of Desert while he's here anyway.
Now,
That was a fun.
Bombos is going to be here in Meyer Shed, so we'll be able to pick that up and kind of make that spontaneous decision on whether or not he wants to go into Meyer after this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if Zero Rush finds that hook shot before Chexhuman, he's definitely might just shoot into the lead.
Yeah, basically both these runners, we've seen where Desert is, or everything around Desert, rather. So it looks like Zero Rush is going to go ahead and make the play into Meyer. So we've got both runners in two separate pendants that we haven't seen all the checks for. So this could be, the deciding factor here.
And of course, with Gannis Tower already complete, all we're going to have to do is just a quick go mode swamp, and then we can go straight to Ganon. So once that hookshot gets found, this will be over pretty quick. And there it is for Chexhuman in the big chest of Thieves Town.
1 hour, 21 minutes or so. Gonna be in go mode. So coin flip, pick your pendant dungeon to dive into. Chexhuman getting his call. And off we go to Swamp Palace to take down Argus and then off to Ganon.
Yep. And I certainly can't blame Zero Rush for heading into Meyer. It's, with that green pennant, it is 3 items. But just luck of the draw that it's not here.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you get to the point where you're looking in pendants. You're more inclined, especially after checking the first 4 of Thieves, as both these guys did and left. You're more inclined to say, okay, well, there's more checks here in Meyer. So logically, this is the stronger play, but unfortunately for Zero Rush, not going to be finding that hook here. And Chex looks to be taking a commanding lead at this point.
Yeah, and he's got silver arrows, he's got the tempered sword, he's got red mail. I expect him to have absolutely no problems on Ganon.
Yeah, at this point, we will be grabbing this small key, heading directly to the back. Chex going to be skipping all of the checks in this dungeon, except for that one that's going to just pop up from Argus. And grabbing that crystal and moving on. All right, so Chex grabbing that small key and bypassing this big chest. Going to be unlocking this door. Probably going to be showing us that nice little hook dash trick here. Yeah, there it is, to get this statue moving and getting that pot with a nice one press of that A button. And then off we go to drain this last little bit.
Yeah, and while we have a moment, I'd like to remind everyone, give these runners a follow. They are both top-notch runners. Very experienced, both in the glitch modes and non-glitch modes. Chexhuman and Zero Rush. The links are in the chat for them.
And Zero Rush picking up that big key. Most likely going to be checking that big chest and then heading to the back to take down Vitreous. Meanwhile, Chexhuman here in the Argus fight, doing a nice job here with phase 1, almost setting up for that quick, but has the backup strat, getting most of those puffs down. Gonna just potentially have one spin phase here, and then off we go to phase 2. With that Tempered Sword, just gonna need 2 of these spin slashes, and there's that second one. Down goes Argus. That is crystal number 7 for Chexhuman, and off we go to take on the Big Pig.
Zerorush taking a moment, decides, you know what, I'm not going to go to Vitreous. It's just one item. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too late, as Chex is going to be at Ganon in probably less than a minute here. No guessing game today, chat. We've already got Ganon's Tower finished. In Overworld Glitches mode, you can get to Ganon's Tower pretty early on, and both these runners did exactly that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to play that guessing game when you don't know if you're actually going to find that key with that limited inventory when you get up there. So, fortunately, we can't really do that here with Overworld Glitches. But meanwhile, Chexhuman has dropped in here on Ganon. We got that Tempered Sword. We've got those silver arrows. So, just need 12 slashes or 6 spins here for phase 1. Check's doing a nice job, I believe, already in phase 2. So, phase 2, the same thing, 12 or 6 for the spins. And getting that nice wall buffer strat to get 2 spins in at one time. And off we are to phase 3 already, just 4 slashes here. And then once we get to phase 4, we just need 4 of those silver arrows into Ganon to take him down.
Zerorush getting not quite the 1 cycle online mode, but still a pretty quick fight nonetheless. And Chexhuman on to phase 4. Gets a triple. And that'll do it. Get your GGs in chat for Chexhuman.
Very solid routing, very solid Ganon fight here for Chexhuman. Making the right calls and finding that hook shot. And we'll see if we can get Chex in for an interview.
Yeah, and the official SRL time for Chexhuman is 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 18 seconds. And we do have a dot forfeit from zerorush. So we'll try to get them both in for an interview. So while we're waiting for them, just like to take a quick moment to shout out to our tracker, Math Girl 718. Throw a link in chat, so give her a follow, as well as my co-com Dante, and myself, I'm Etium. And so while we are waiting to see if they will come in, let me just look at the schedule as soon as I can bring it up here. So no more matches tonight. Tomorrow we do have 2 matches on the schedule. At 3 p.m. Eastern is Baliame versus Doomtap, and at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, Chexhuman versus Ultima. We don't know if those will be restreamed yet, but you can check out the schedule. I believe there should be a link. Let me try to get it in chat here.
And while he's getting that link, so this is going to put zerorush at currently 1-1 in this group stage, and Chexhuman going to be advancing up to 2-1. Going to be getting 2 points at this point, so going to be overtaking Act the Boker just for a little bit with those 2 wins. Of course, we are still very early on as far as the number of matches played in this group stage, so nothing obviously set in stone just yet. A whole lot of shifting can be done in the position these guys are in.
All right, looks like we have Chex and Zero in the weight room, so they should be with us very shortly. And we're joined by Chexhuman and zerorush. GG, guys.
Thank you, GG.
Good games.
So, yeah, this seed was looking like it was going to be a real jet seed early on. I think we had everything but the hook shot less than 40 minutes in. Of course, as with a lot of Overworld glitch seeds, we end up looking for that hook shot for quite some time. Yeah, what were your thoughts on that seed?
I'll let Chex go because he crushed it.
Thank you. GG. I figured it would come down to a needle in a haystack, and indeed it did. So, yeah, it felt like around 40 minutes in, I was just skipping things like Rando Room just to search for the hookshot.
Yeah, I mean, you had 4 crystals less than 30 minutes in, which is just a blazing fast pace. And then, yeah, it took you a while, though. zerorush had done a bit more overworld checks, so he was kind of behind on crystals, but again, as you were searching for that hookshot, zerorush was starting to catch up. And, yeah, then basically, right around the time you went into Thieves Town, he had finished off his 5th crystal and was headed over to Desert and Mire. So basically, you were going into Thieves Town, or back of Thieves Town, and zerorush was going into Mire, and it was basically whoever found the hookshot was going to win, pretty much. And so, yeah, it just turned out in favor of you, Chex.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I had to recover some tilt after falling 3 times to Moldorm, and then everything from there, after that 15-minute mark, felt pretty smooth.
Yeah, that
I
was
also fell the Moldorm a bunch and eventually just gave up on the chest, and then of course did it first try without the chest.
So I saw in chat you had zerorush. You had mismarked some of your crystals.
Yeah, I marked Turtle Rock as a pendant for some reason, and Ice as a crystal, but I ended up clearing them both anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. So you went into ice, and we were kind of questioning that decision, and then, yeah, after you finished ice, you did a map check, and we figured you had probably mismarked it.
So, did you go into Ice Palace with mitts or without?
I went in without mitts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that mirror screen wrap.
Yeah, and then I found them afterwards anyway.
Okay.
They were in Mimic Cave, and I think we had a hint early on that said a unique item was in Mimic Cave, right? I'm not imagining that? Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you guys both found the gloves in opposite order, actually. Yeah, the Mimic Cave was the first gloves for Chex. And then he got around to Mini Moldorm Cave about an hour 10 in.
Yeah.
I full cleared Light World, basically. I got accidentally stuck on a wall and didn't do Desert, the back of Desert, which didn't have an item anyway, but even with the Moldorm Falls, I think I had like 2 crystals and Ganon's tower done in like 39 minutes or something like that. So I just skipped the Armos and the entire left side.
You skipped Ice Armos?
I did.
That seems a little bit dangerous.
I agree, but I didn't want to go full right side. Like, I didn't have anything at that point.
I routed badly. I kind of should have done literally anything other than what I did. Because I went left, right, basically.
Well,
Left,
zerorush
right, left.
was missing the mirror when he went into GT. He hadn't done School Woods yet.
Oh.
Yeah, GT was the first thing I did in Dark World, and that was kind of the reason why I skipped everything, is because I assumed I would be back, but then I realized that I only needed the hookshot.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Which could have been on Armos, I guess, but I don't know, it could have been anywhere, so is there really a right or wrong play at that point?
Not really.
So, Chex, let me ask you this. You had the option, both of you guys had dipped Thieves Town for those first 4 chests and had left. With Meyer being that green pendant, was there any reason that kind of gave you that inclination that maybe I should dive Thieves before I headed, over to the Meyer area to dive that?
Essentially it was 4 items versus 3. And I figured I would go from north to south again. So starting from Pyramid, I could go actually start with Hobo, and then from there it really could have taken me to Ice Palace, but Hobo was like full cleared Ice World. I mean, not Ice World. Hobo, I believe, was my last check in the Light World. Then I was thinking, okay, 3 items in Meyer, 3 items in Ice Palace, 2 items in Thieves, and 2 Overworld checks. So I figured 2 plus 2. So I went Hammer Pegs, Smith, and then the 2 back items. And it was the 4th item too, I guess, because it was the big chest.
Yeah, it was that very last item in Thieves Town. It was kind of, as we had already mentioned, whichever one of you guys made the right choice, that was going to basically determine that match, just because of, being in opposite pendant dungeons. And between the two of you, it basically full cleared everything else that hookshot could logically be at, except the front side of Swamp.
That's where I was going. But then obviously checks finished. I'm just sad that it wasn't Quake Meyer with hookshot and Meyer. I think that's the only thing that would have saved me at that point.
Oh yeah. So Quake was in Ice Palace or something?
Yeah, it was in one of the right side chests. I think the
I think
hammer chest.
I think it was in the chest before the big key chest.
Yeah, that sounds right. But it was Bombos, and then Bombos was in the Meyer shit, so that did nothing.
Yeah, how often do you see that, right?
Yeah. Every week.
All right. Well, I think we can start to wrap up here. Chex or zerorush, do either of you guys have any final thoughts you wanted to say about Seed or the tournament?
It's been fun. I am surprised I got a win in against zerorush, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, both of you are such fantastic runners. This was a great race to watch. So, yeah, and I mean, I saw at least a couple glitches I'd never seen before, so that was good.
Which ones?
That one that you did, I believe you went from pod to the witch's hut, if I'm not mistaken. That was new to me.
Yeah, eastern to the Witch's Hut. Yeah, that's a good one. I like to
Alright,
go
yeah.
north and south there. That's a really handy place to go north and south. Either direction.
And then that other one you did to get, I think you went from the Zora area, and then you did a bunch of screen wrapping, and it ended up in Spiral Cave. That one was
Yeah.
interesting.
So that's the Zora DMA, and that's really, really nice if you get an early sword, because then you can just hop into Spiral Cave and then full clear Death Mountain.
Oh, it requires spin speed?
No, it's just that sword makes Spiral Cave so much faster.
Yeah, Spiral Cave's a pain with no weapon.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite openings if luck has it.
Yeah, well, alright, I guess we can wrap up here. So like I said, there are 2 matches tomorrow. I don't know if they'll be restreamed, but check that schedule if you want to catch them. And one last shout out to our tracker, Math Girl 718, my co-com Dante, myself, I'm Atium, and I'll throw it over to Dante to close us out.
I'll say this one was a lot of fun to watch and to commentate. Coming from the side of mainly playing glitchless and not knowing a lot of these glitches, it's a lot of fun to learn how this works. And see these guys put on a heck of a show. We put those links in chat. Be sure to give both of these guys a follow, as well as the crew, comms crew with the tracker as well. We do want to thank SpeedGaming for putting this on for us. Congratulations to Chexhuman yet again, and GG's to zerorush. Look forward to seeing more from these guys in this tournament going forward. But that is going to do it for now. Do it for us for now. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.